Ladies, it's time for your brow Bible lesson. Please get out a pen and paper and write down these 7 things you need to know about your brows. Stop brushing your brows out to the side and brush your brows up with a brow gel. This is the one I recommend. It's very inexpensive and I've tried many brow gels. This is the one that I love. You want to go forward and backward through your brows. Yes, that's going to mess them up and it's going to be scary, but it's going to tell you where you need to trim with some tiny little scissors. I know you have some of those. And it's going to tell you where you need to fill in. So once you get them filled in with brow gel, I like to take and laminate them to my face. You don't have to do this. And if you don't have a spatula like this, you can just use the end of a brush. But this is going to give you a very clear visual, and it's going to give you a little bit of a facelift because brows going up and down vertically as opposed to horizontally feminizes the face. Number 2, your brows should only be going in 2 directions. They should go up and down. They shouldn't only be an arch. They should not have 3 directions where they go up and then they go out and then they come down. You need to get them into 2 directions. And every makeup artist I know agrees with this. Nobody's debating the comma brows, the sperm brows, everybody has the same basic brow shape when it comes to professional makeup artistry, and it's going up toward the arch and then down and tapering to a sharp point at the end. Number 3, if you have never mapped your brows, now is the time. Write this down. Your brows should start directly above the tear duct or a little closer to the nose, but never further out. You might have quite a gap up to ½ an inch I've seen or more right here where you are going to have to fill in if that is the case. So your starting point should be right here. Make a little mark and then go to the arch. The arch should be at the outside apex of the iris. So go straight up from there. That is the high point where this is going to be B. So we're going to do this A, B, and then C is the ending point. You're going to line it up with your nostril and the outside corner of your eye. And right there is where your brows should end. Anything going beyond that needs to be tweezed or razored off with a flamingo feather razor. So we have A, B, and C. Now let's fill it in. To fill in, I'm going to take a little bit of brow gel on my brush and pick up a little bit of brow powder. Powders are a little bit more time consuming, but you're always going to get a much better brow with a powder. And we're going to start at the bottom of A and go straight to the top where our mark for B is. So as straight a line as you can get from the bottom of A to the top of B, and then from B down to C. That brings us to number 4. Your brows should be even in thickness from the starting point to the arch, okay? They should not taper before the arch, or if they do, just a very slight taper. But a lot of you have a pointy start here and it gets thicker right here, and then it apexes at the arch, and then it's too much, okay? This whole segment right here should look a little bit more rectangular and be even in thickness. So we're gonna fill this in and I'll show you what I mean. We're gonna make hair-like strokes from the bottom baseline, and we want this whole first segment to be a little bit more like a rectangle, and we want it to have an even thickness, okay? So we are filling in where I have no brows right here, so I am just straight up faking it till I make it with my brow powder and my brush. It should take you some time. Your brows, if they are sparse, are going to be probably the thing that takes you the longest with your makeup, and they are the most important. They are the boobs of the face. They add femininity to the face. They point people to your eyes. Or they can be a complete distraction where people are looking at your brows. They don't even realize it, but they're not hearing you, seeing you, knowing what you're saying, or comprehending you because they're distracted by your brows. So it's very important that you spend a little bit of time and get them done right. So now we have an even thickness from the starting point to the arch, and that brings us to number 5, which is a not harsh starting point, okay? So on this one, you can see it's a little bit softer, less of a focused starting point, where over here it's very sharp. I'm gonna soften that with a spoolie and bring a little bit of product toward the nose just to give this a softer start point. You don't want to create competition for the line of the whites of the eyes to the iris. You want that to be the strongest contrast on your face. So if you have a sharp, harsh line on your brows somewhere, it's going to pull attention or create competition for your eyeballs. Just a quick little smudge is usually all it takes, and just push a little bit of product toward your nose and soften that starting point. Number 6 is the color. You gotta get the color right. It can't be too yellow, it can't be too orange, it can't be too dark. And I based this color of this brow powder that I'm using off of a product from Wet n Wild number 648. Their brow pencil 25 years ago that was 98 cents is what this brow powder is based off of. It was the perfect color. As a pro makeup artist, I was using it on everybody from the palest gray hair, redheads, pale blondes, all the way up to medium brunettes. It may be too light for deep brunettes and the darkest hair, but it is the right color for a large population. And number 7, use a concealer, not a powder, to carve under the brows and give yourself a little bit of highlight right under your tail and under your arch. Don't leave a big blank white space and use the wide end of the brush and carve out this entire area right here that's the hood of the eye. That's only going to bring it more forward. You want to give your brows a little bit of lift by just carving out with a skinny little row of concealer right below the arch and the tail. You can find that brow powder in my TikTok shop and get to work. Get to work. The brows are very important.